The wind howled through the gnarled trees as Sarah approached the abandoned manor. It stood on the outskirts of the village, its windows shattered, and its roof sagging. The villagers whispered that the house was cursed, haunted by the tormented souls of its former inhabitants. Sarah's curiosity had gotten the best of her, leading her to venture into the Eerie mansion. The air grew colder as she stepped through the broken doorway. The interior was cloaked in darkness, and the only light came from a dim moon filtering through the tattered curtains. As she cautiously walked through the house, the floorboards creaked beneath her every step. The walls seemed to whisper, echoing faint, eerie murmurs. In one room, Sarah found an old, dusty portrait of a family, a man, a woman, and a young girl. Their eyes seemed to follow her, filled with sadness and longing. A sudden chill ran down Sarah's spine as a soft voice whispered, "Help us." She spun around, but there was no one there. Heart racing, she moved further into the manor. In the hallway, a flickering candle materialized on a dusty table, casting dancing shadows on the walls. Drawn to a grand mirror at the end of the hallway, Sarah gasped as her reflection began to morph. Her face contorted into a mask of terror as she watched herself age and decay before her very eyes. The reflection's pleading eyes met hers, silently begging for release. Trembling, Sarah pressed on, finding herself in a decrepit library. Books lined the shelves, their pages yellowed with age. As she brushed her fingers over the spines, whispers filled the air, each book containing a story of despair and tragedy. A particular journal seemed to call out to her, its pages beckoning to be opened. She read the journal's entries, discovering the heart-wrenching tale of the family in the portrait. The father had been consumed by greed, leading him to commit unspeakable acts. The mother had been driven to madness, and the young girl had suffered a tragic, unexplained fate within the walls of the manor. A faint sob echoed through the room, and Sarah looked up to see a spectral figure, the young girl from the portrait, standing before her. The girl's eyes were hollow, her expression one of sadness and longing. She extended a translucent hand towards Sarah, her voice a mournful whisper, "Help me find peace." Driven by a mix of fear and empathy, Sarah agreed to help. Guided by the girl's ethereal presence, she searched the manor for clues. She discovered a hidden passage that led to a forgotten chamber beneath the house. In the center of the room lay a small, weathered doll, the girl's beloved possession. As Sarah picked up the doll, a chilling wind swept through the chamber, extinguishing the candles. Shadows coalesced into sinister forms, surrounding her. The air was thick with despair and anger, the tortured spirits of the family closing in. With the doll in hand, Sarah began to recite a heartfelt plea, urging the spirits to find peace and release their grip on the mortal realm. The room trembled as the anguished cries grew louder, but slowly, the malevolent presence began to dissipate. The girl's form appeared before Sarah, a faint smile gracing her lips before she too faded away. The manor was still once more, the oppressive atmosphere lifting. The moon emerged from behind the clouds, bathing the room in a gentle light. The air felt lighter, as if the weight of years of sorrow had finally been lifted. Sarah emerged from the manor, the doll cradled in her arms. She looked back one last time, a mix of sadness and relief in her eyes. The village would never know the horrors that had transpired within those walls, but Sarah would never forget. The Forgotten Manor had finally found its peace, and so had she.